entertainmentbuddha.com.
Everyone, Matt Haywood from entertainmentbuddha.com here to bring you another recap and review of AMC's The Walking Dead. So last night we had the second episode of the 5th season's second half return air, and it was called Them. Who are them? Who is them? Who be them? I don't know. So the episode was, when you compare it to last week's episode, which we know happened again, spoilers, there will be spoilers, just like there will be blood. So anyways, spoilers. Again, one more time. Spoilers. You got that? Spoilers. Spoilers? Spoilers. Okay, enough with the spoilers. Anyway, so when you compare it to last week's episode, which we know what happened last week, it was very emotional, the way they aired the episode, the way they framed it. They kind of showed you what happened at the beginning, and you thought one thing, but by the time you got to the end, it was something completely different. I love that shit. Anyways, Tyrese is gone. Beth is now gone. The group is just ravaged with grief after these events. So that's kind of what Them, last night's episode, focuses on. So you got the group here. They're just aimlessly wandering around. Remember, they have no place to stay now. The prison's gone. The other places they lived in, they've been ushered out. The church is gone. So on and so forth. They are just rambling losers. No, they're not losers. I'm just kidding. Come on. They're touring the countryside, if you will. The South, as they, they're up in Virginia now because they went to Noah's parents' house and they found that was busted. So ultimately they want to get to DC, but they don't really have a place to chill, hang out, play little chess, so on and so forth. So they're just aimlessly wandering around. They're starting to get super dehydrated. I mean, really the episode is just how the groups are splintering off to go and look for water because everyone is starting to get very parched, as in thirsty. So really what the episode focuses on is mainly Daryl, Maggie, Sasha, and how they are dealing with the loss of Beth for, Maggie and Daryl, and then Sasha with Tyrese. Each one is kind of handling it differently. Maggie, super emotional, sad, distraught, beat down, kind of wants to give up over the loss of Beth. She thought she had her, then she didn't have her, and that was just a gut punch that she just couldn't recover from. So luckily, she's got Glenn, her husband, there to kind of help her work through this, which ultimately she does. Then you have Sasha, who's just straight up pissed. I mean, she wants to kill walkers at every second. She wants to just be angry about what's going on. She really doesn't know if things are worth living for either. I mean, she's just pissed. Her brother's dead, Bob's dead. She still probably isn't over that, so she's all angry. And then there's Daryl, Mr. Daryl, the silent, brooding type, played by the great Norman Reedus. We really haven't gotten to see his take on the whole Beth thing. Remember, he's the one that blasted Dawn in the face after she blasted Dawn in the face. So Daryl at first is very closed, like he usually is about his emotions, but eventually they're talking with Carol and then going out on some alone time with his bow and arrow. He has a good cry and kind of comes to terms with losing Beth. It wasn't his fault. He should have killed Dawn. Why not? Anyone would have. Remember, Rick and Glenn said they would have done it last week if they had the chance. So the whole episode is kind of wrapped around these three. Like I said, it moves kind of slow. There's not a ton of action. There's a cool scene where they kind of herd a bunch of walkers on the road to this overpass, and they used a bridge to just kind of push them off. Like, oh, there he goes, and oh, there she goes, instead of running around going, stabbing people, shooting people, doing whatever. Sasha couldn't play by the rules. She had to go and stab some people, but that's it. I mean, that was really the action. Where this episode got interesting is at the very end. Well, there's two parts, really. Kind of halfway through, they find a bunch of water in jugs and bottles and whatnot, and it says, from a friend. Obviously, after everything that's happened with, Gareth and the cannibals, and then the governor, so on and so forth, the group doesn't trust anyone. So they do not drink the water. Luckily, the sky opens up and they get some rainwater to drink, but they don't trust it. After they see that, then a pack of dogs shows up. All right, we've been seeing warning about the wolves, the dogs, so on and so forth. And I guess if you've read the comics, you know. By the way, that's Pete. Hey, Pete. Hey, Pete, what'd you think about the show? He's not very talkative. So anyways. So they find these dogs, they kill them and eat them. Gabe doesn't like it. But where this all kind of comes to a head is at the very end. So you've got Maggie and Sasha are out kind of talking about life when they finally come to grips with their two issues and play with a music box, set it down, so on and so forth. And then out of nowhere, this completely clean-shaven, clean-cut guy named Aaron says, "Hey, everybody, I want to talk to your leader, Rick." So they're like, what the? How does this dude know Rick? And why is he so clean-looking? What the hell's going on here? And that's just kind of where things end. So without that part, quite frankly, I think Them was a fairly lackluster episode. Had some good character development, but overall wasn't that entertaining to me. So unlike last week, which I gave the episode 100, just like a 10, but with one more zero. So 100. This week, not so much. I'm going in the 60 to 70 range. Probably going to settle on 70 out of 100 for this episode. Not bad, not great, just okay. And like I said, we moved some characters along. Wasn't a lot of gore. And outside of the kind of cliffhanger ending, there wasn't much to hang on to. But it's still a Walking Dead. It still kicks ass. So I enjoyed it. It was not a waste of an hour of my time. So as usual, I'll try to bring these video reviews of The Walking Dead to you every Monday, sometime on the day. I never know when I have a chance to sit down and do these, and hopefully you enjoy them versus just a bunch of reading. So I'll be doing a written recap, even though I kind of recapped it on the video as well, which you can check out on entertainmentbuddha.com. So that's it for now. Again, this is Matt Haywood doing The Walking Dead recap and review video style for you to consume on our YouTube. YouTube.com, Entertainment Buddha. Make sure to hit the site up on a daily basis, because we, including the cat here, make you a better geek one post at a time.
EntertainmentBuddha.com